All right, let's bring in California Congressman Tom McClintock and Alabama Congressman Gary Palmer. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I served with both of these guys in the United States Congress, and I never thought I would associate them with sexy. But you know what? It's pretty sexy now talking about cutting spending in Washington, D.C. I never thought I'd see the day, but thanks to the mandate of Donald Trump, you guys spent 5 hours with Elon and Vivek talking sexy stuff, cutting spending. How did it go? What did you learn?
Well, first of all, they did most of the listening. Members did a lot of the talking. But what's obvious is a government that spends this much and wastes this much is ripe for reform. I mean, just subsidies, grants, unauthorized appropriations. That's the entire deficit right there, and that's when you're just scratching the surface.
And one of the things that I pointed out in an earlier meeting with Ramaswamy and Musk is that this is not the first time that we've done this. During the Clinton administration, Al Gore headed up an effort called the National Partnership for Reinventing Government. And over a 7-year period, they eliminated over 426,000 civilian federal employee positions. They rolled back over 16,000 pages of regulations. I could go on and on. Jason, you know I'm kind of a nerd. I get into the weeds. But the bottom line is nobody should be in a panic mode about this. This is going to be a very sensible, a very thoughtful process to get our spending under control and modernize our government. We really need to bring our government into the 21st century. And these are, in my opinion, two of the best guys that we could possibly have heading us up.
Well, gentlemen, I want the Republicans to be panicked because, with all due respect, conservatives have long been part of the problem. And this little quote, and Congressman Palmer, I'll come to you on this. This little quote in Punchbowl News set my hair on fire this morning. There was one unnamed senior Republican aide who said this about Elon and Vivek, quote, "Two people who know nothing about how the government works, pretending they can cut $1 trillion, both with decent pulpits to preach from and the ear of an unpredictable president, disaster. The only good thing that at some point they'll overpromise and get bounced by Trump, but until then, disaster." That to me says, oh, you guys just don't know the way things work around here. I want y'all to weed that person out. But again, Republicans have long been part of the problem.
Well, Dagan, the thing about this is that this is something that we were focused on before Trump won. We were preparing for this because we believed he's going to win. And to a certain extent, Musk and Ramaswamy do not understand everything about how the government works, and that's actually a good thing.
Look, I watched the socialist left destroy California's economy for several decades. Now they're trying to destroy our nation's economy, and Ramaswamy and Musk are standing in their way. Republican conference has to stand behind them, and I think that it will. Times have changed, and I will say in the defense of Republicans, the Democrats' only criticism when we were in power is we weren't spending money fast enough. But this is not unprecedented. Look at what Argentina has done to dramatically reduce its spending, and it's created a groundswell in their economy under Javier Milei. And I think we'll see the same thing under Donald Trump.
And I think Tom would agree with this. We're not all that concerned about the inexperience of Musk and Ramaswamy in terms of how Congress works. That's our job, and we're going to support what they're doing.
Yeah, now, you only have a one-seat majority, Congressman McClintock. I mean, somebody gets the sniffles and this whole thing unravels. How do you keep everybody moving in the same direction? And those weak-kneed Republicans who don't want to see cuts in their own district, will they be able to do it?
Well, you have to do what Kevin McCarthy did, and that is call everybody into a room and keep them there until we'd reached an agreement. That's how we got H.R. 2 passed in this session with a very slender majority as well. That's just a part of the process, as you well know. But it takes a lot of work, a lot of yelling at each other, a lot of time behind closed doors. But if you keep everybody together and everybody talking, eventually they will hammer out a consensus.
And I agree with Tom. I think that we're committed to this. And obviously we're not going to get everything done in a week or two. It's going to take some time to communicate with our own members to get things moving in the right direction. But I think by and large, we're committed to this, Jason. And
As Lincoln said, the occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. We must disenthrall ourselves, and then we will save our country.
Gentlemen, can you give us an update on where the House was on voting on the Matt Gaetz ethics report? Again, there was a procedural vote that would have just tabled. There was one resolution from a Democrat that would have forced it to a full House vote.
Well, we were about to cast a final vote on that in a moment or two, but in my opinion, Brandeis was right. Sunlight is the best of disinfectants. This is a public report compiled by public funds over a public official. It belongs to the public, and it deserves to be released.
Congressman Palmer, are you the same voting as McClintock there?
well, we'll see how the vote goes, Jason. I agree, though, that sunlight is the best disinfectant, and we need to be transparent about this across the board.
Well, very
And
good.
I think it's part of what we have to do to restore public trust in our institution.
Very good. Congressman Palmer from the great state of Alabama, Congressman McClintock from the struggling state of California. But I've known you for a long time. You're a great representative. I know your heart's in the right place, and I'm glad you're there, and I'm not, quite frankly. So, all right.
But we're glad where you are.